dun, dun, dun. Beer, dun, 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 dun. Beer, dun, 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 dun. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Going Over podcast. It is I, your neighborhood-friendly coach, trainer, non-advertiser, straight promoter. Catch that? Straight promoter. 44-year-old professional wrestler, Zack Prime Time Reeb, and I'm joined alongside my podcast partner. We at 102, and I noticed the views and a couple subscribers went up. So maybe somebody's out there busting a grape for us. And if that's the case, I'll give you a shout out here in a week or so. What's up, Big Paul Isadora?
Oh, what's up, man? Hey, it looks like it is sweatshirt weather. Both of us wearing a sweatshirt indoors. And sweatpants. Gray sweatpants weather. Perfect. Yeah. So
the ladies.
I just took my daughter to school and it was 30 degrees. So
the ladies. You know what the ladies say? They say, I love gray sweatpants because you can totally tell everything you're getting in that man right there. And that leads me to this first thing, man. I wanted to talk about something as we get cooking along. I wanted to talk about something that we've been doing down at your promotion. And I heard it the other day, and somebody said, that Paul is an attraction. He's an attraction, like a Bad News Blakesley and Alex Ace. And it's the truth. You're just as big of an attraction to people as a midget, a little person, a small person. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean it's not every day you walk around the grocery store or anywhere, the casino, and you see a midget. And it's not every day. It's not a normal occurrence that you can see a 7-foot man walking around. And I feel we've done it in Urington. We've done it in Sparks. We've now done it in Boomtown. We're about to head to Carson City. There's Winnemucca. There's a couple other places that we're going to be heading that way. And it's the antagonizing the audience thing. I'm antagonizing the audience. They really don't like me, but they really like you. And it's when these people get to the point where we can't sell another ticket at the door, then it's time for Big Paul. It's time for the villain to finally get his hands. I mean, the baby to finally get the hero to get his hands on the villain. And I just started thinking about like little things that the villains do because, man, Sergio Santana went out there and had Boomtown in a ruckus, right? He had Boomtown in a ruckus. And here you come and they absolutely love you. And then I come running out and we go to hit you with the belt at the end. And I'm sitting here just thinking in my head, maybe I should put my hands on this guy's back and really give him a good, I didn't really push him, but give him a good run. And I just started thinking about, you don't need a special gimmick on somebody because we talk about gimmicks verbatim, but let's just put an antagonistic guy out there they don't like with somebody they do like and create an issue. And now we're off to the races. And let's tell this in all these towns and see which one of these towns are going to fill up first, man. And these messages, I'm glad you just sent that right there. That's nice to see that pop up because just doesn't get it. So actually, I'm going to respond to this right now since it keeps popping in front of the screen. Yes, it is very relevant that we're doing a podcast and you keep sending these annoying messages over. We're going to have a phone call after this because this is what we're trying to do over here. And it's very fucking distracting when you do shit like that. And I just wish at times when you tell somebody something or you try to advise them at anything that they would take your advice, not just say they're going to take your advice or agree with you, but take it. But, threw me off my track a little bit. But what I'm trying to say is it's nice to see that the antagonists coming out and really getting the crowd behind them, and then the baby face coming out and they like the baby face, because once you have that between some people, it just opens up, it just opens up over and over and over again for us to do so much more. It's not that
Absolutely.
complicated. Thanks. That's what popped up on my screen. It's not that complicated. Thanks. It is that fucking complicated. Get off the fucking screen, you moron. Jesus. And I'm calling you that because you were just asked and told what we're doing, and you continue to fucking blow the thing up, and that pisses me the fuck off. And it doesn't just piss me off in a way where I want to be verbal to somebody, to verbally abuse them. It makes me want to go against everything that I've learned in recovery and just stuff my fist down somebody's fucking mouth. Abusive, you know what I mean?
Oh my goodness. I prefaced this whole podcast by I wonder how many times you're gonna be like, right? Scooching messages out of the way. But yeah, man, it's I think you definitely have a point as far as when you have that antagonist established and they come out and they just get a reaction right off the bat, right? Which reminds me, I worked with a guy that used to tell me that things were happening right off the back. And I was like, I don't think you understand that reference. I think that's a baseball reference. Something happens quickly. It's like the ball coming off the bat. It happens quickly. You have to take a lot of pride and play in the hot corner because the ball comes off the bat very quickly. So yeah, I think it's awesome when you have someone come out of the curtain and right off the bat they have a reaction from the crowd, especially if it's the negative reaction, right? They hate this guy. They can't wait for this guy to get his ass kicked. And obviously, in our case, in this last show, the person that comes out is me. And I was just looking at the statistics that someone is 7 feet tall, and it was astounding. It was something that really surprised me. It was 1 in 128,000 American adult males. So it is a rarity. You know, I was telling you the other day, I don't look at myself as an attraction, right? I don't think, obviously I've been like this for 25 years. You know, it's not like I look at myself differently or think that I stand out. But then I also did make the comment that I feel like everywhere I go, someone is going to make a comment. At least I'm going to hear at least one comment everywhere I go about how tall are you? Did you play sports? Were you a football player? Did you play basketball? All these different things, right? And often, I obviously am a very nice guy. I don't tend to give people a lot of criticism and things like that. But it's like, am I? Would it be okay for me to also point out this person's what I see about them physically, right? You're allowed to tell me how tall I am and that I'm a giant. I'm the biggest person that you've ever seen. What are the boundaries for what I'm allowed to say in retort? You know, if it's somebody who is balding, am I allowed to say, "Oh man, looks like you're going bald there. How long have you been thinning like that?" Or, "Wow, man, looks like your calorie intake is extremely high. Like, how many calories do you eat per day?" You know, what am I allowed to say? Like, obviously people are pointing out the obvious to me, but I also feel like society does not allow me to respond in kind.
Well, I mean, that would be the opposite. You know what I mean? Why would you? Hey, I've never seen such big, beautiful tits on a grown man before. You have no neck. Why do you have so much hair coming out of your ears? You sure are missing a lot of teeth for being at such a young age. No, you become a prick at that point, and that's just the way the world works. It's a double standard and hypocritical and everything else. I just the other day, my buddy who was part of neglecting a child they were raising, like kind of just, during their addiction, shooing them off to the side, got with another girl, and she's posting pictures with the ex's kid now, and talking trash about her bad parenting when the kid was over there. And I'm like, but now you're sucking the dick and living with the guy who was also part of the bad parenting. You know what I mean? It's every day we see this. And your height, yeah, it's pretty fucking obvious, right? That's like the obvious statement. Wow, you're tall. Yeah, no shit. You know what I mean? You're short. Yeah, no shit. I don't really notice how tall you are until I walk up and I give you this, and we come in for the old hug, and my nose is in your armpit. I'm very thankful that you're a hygienic giant, a very hygienious giant, so I don't have to smell the funk and stench underneath your armpit or your chest sweat. I don't have to smell those things. I did want to point out too, man, by the way, your congratulations, because you're losing. I actually saw the stomach at the show, and you are losing a lot of weight, man. You're starting to get back in good physical condition. The arms are starting to get. I start to see some triceps now. They're not just these beanie things hanging out the end. But yeah, it's not acceptable. It's definitely not acceptable. But you know what is acceptable? Making some money. And I've been in this continued argument lately. So AEW just did Blood and Guts, right? Which is their version of the War Games, and it's on television for free. And I was arguing with someone about it, and I was like, yeah, if they were doing business right, they would be building that on their television program, and then they would be selling that event for the men and the women at the pay-per-view, right? Like that's how it would go. And that person was like, well, they already have their niche audience that buys all their pay-per-views. And I said, yeah, but we got to grow this audience. It ain't about already having a certain amount of people. We want more people in the audience. And you see what WWE does with the War Games. And WWE is, 40, 50 plus thousand in San Diego at the baseball park. That's where they're going to give you War Games. They're not going to give it to you free on television, because they're making money off of this product. SmackDown, an extra hour. Why? We can't even bear to watch the first one. Well, I guess advertisers and sponsors want those slots in that extra hour to make more money for TKO and WWE. So at what point are we talking shit to people about making money? We're going to talk shit to people about making money and doing things the right way, but the people that aren't really making money and aren't doing it the right way, we're going to be like, oh, but the wrestling's phenomenal, right? The wrestling's phenomenal. It's the best wrestling around. Well, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think if you're giving too much of your product away every week, why the fuck would I want to watch it? You know what I mean? What do I want to watch that shit for?
Right, exactly. Well, and I think it's another great point. Like we were talking about show length, right? I've always thought like the 2-hour show, right? That's about the right length. And the other night we were like, man, it felt like that show went forever, right? But when I put together the actual video, it was 2 hours, 10 minutes, right? So I was like, it felt long. I know that, man. I know it felt long, but it was also, you had mentioned it was 7:00 at night when it started. So it felt late also. And I was thinking the same thing. Like it felt late. But I feel like, maybe we're getting older and 7:00 seems later. Like, I don't know, man. It was like this reality check. I'm like, dude, what am I doing? I'm thinking 7:00 seems late. Like, most of the time, back in the day, I'm not going to bed until 11, 12 o'clock. But, now that I have a job that I have to wake up early, I'm in bed at 7, right? I'm trying to get to sleep so I can get up early, so I can get off early, so I can go pick my kids up from school and I can go to all the after school activities and all that stuff. But But yeah, I mean, 7 o'clock, I feel like that's a good time. You can go out and you can enjoy yourself, right? You have like especially this Boomtown show with alcohol. You can go out and get alcohol and things like that. So I think that's a great opportunity for us. You're talking about making money. That's a great opportunity for us to get maybe an alcohol sponsor, that can go and we can say, hey, why don't you, donate this much product. We'll sell it for a profit, and then we'll announce you as a sponsor for the show, or you can be there at the show, serving the alcohol or whatever, talking to people about your product. So definitely some opportunities there for that stuff. But I guess the question is, if you go from, let's say, 8 matches, or sometimes we have 7 or 6, if you go from that and you cut down that card to 4 matches, 5 matches, do you think that's going to affect the crowd, their enjoyment, the good time that they have, the bad time they have? How do you think that's going to affect if you, let's just say you did 4 matches and you still went for 2 hours? Like, how do you cover all of that time? This is probably a better question for a Billy Blade, because that fucker does this all the time. 4 matches, 2 hours, So, but what do you think, man? What's your opinion on that?
Well, first off, I saw a lot of kids in the crowd, which that's also a selling point too, is my kid can go to the casino as well. I remember as a kid, I get to go into this place for adults and I get to have fun and do something. I feel like if you got 400 people in the crowd and more than half that crowd isn't kids, I feel like in the long haul, you're not going to end up making money over the long haul as a company, right? We were kids watching wrestling. Here we are today. There was our parents that, we as parents took kids to watch wrestling. Here they are today. It's for the kids. And if it's just for the adults, then the market shrinks up like this, and what you can do. Parents are going to buy stuff for the kids. The kids love the stuff. The kids are going to grow up to be fans, have kids. It's all about the kids, man. It really is in the market we're in. But also, I don't think you need to condense the matches. I think we got to have what Larry would call what's he call that? It's not a squash match. Smash match. You got to have a smash match on the show. You got to some matches should go shorter. I remember in the booking meeting, it was just like a quick thing with you and Cody, and he's like, just say 8 to 10 for everything, and I'm like, no, you gotta. I didn't like that, because then the pre-show decided they were going to go 8 to fucking 10, and they decided they were going to run around and do a lot more too. And like you said, we definitely should have got with those guys. And I didn't think that David, I'll call him David, so we know. I didn't think that he seriously believed me when I said, hey, this kid's the veteran because he's been around longer. I was totally fucking joking about that, but I guess I know better now. You live and you learn. But no, I don't think it's the length of the matches. I think it's what you're giving them in those matches. If you got a match that's probably doesn't need to go this amount of time, you know what I mean? Like, there was a couple matches on the card that didn't need the distance that was given. I know I didn't need the distance that was given from bell to bell, 8 to 10 minutes. I think, honestly, the work I did on the microphone and out there with the audience, with the entrances, I think that went longer, way longer than what we did in the actual ring with physicality before Dickie got hurt, So I just feel like, what does this person bring to the table? It's not about match length. And we talk about this all the time. We're like, it's not about the moves. Everyone doesn't need to have the best match of the night. And when you're booking something, you have to specifically tell these guys, hey, this is what I want out of you tonight. I don't need a lot of time. Or Sergio, you're really good at getting the audience going crazy. You're going to get more time because you're going to have more time to antagonize the audience, and we'll shorten our matchup. You know what I mean? But if they like what they're seeing, let it go. That's why Al Snow told me that one time. He said, hey, do you put times on your matches? And I said, yes. And he said, I don't believe in putting times on our matches. I do if you're in a TV type situation. And I also like to tell the guys, hey, you guys, everybody go home at the 5-minute mark, and main event or big title match, go home at 10. You know, you can tell them when to go home, but in turn, what they're going to have to do is it's crowd psychology. They're going to have to listen to the crowd. What did we see? I was just talking to Sparky about it. I don't know if you watched Cena's last Raw at Madison Square Garden.
Nope, I did not. I was getting ready to watch it last night and I fell asleep. So that is on my agenda for today.
Make sure you do. That opener, I thought the opener was special and fun in that 6-man and the way they ended that. I thought it was one of the better finish, most creative, exciting throwback finishes that I've seen in a long time. But what happens at the end is Brock Lesnar comes out and he's destroying everybody, right? And he's standing in the ring and they throw the producers thing up, Lee Fitting and John Levesque or whatever. And then Brock's leaning down to pick up Heyman and Roman Reigns' music hits. So like we're setting up War Games. And Roman comes out and he gets in the ring and Brock's sitting there fucking just loading up that fist like, get in here. And Roman's on the apron. And you know as soon as he steps in, they're going to charge each other, right? But wait. Both guys heard something. And Brock pulled his fist back. And Roman's got the Iggy and he steps through the ropes and they're standing across the ring looking at each other. And then they get closer. And this audience, I mean, if we're saving the world on an ark, we couldn't have put one more person on that ark with the food we had to save the world. You just got to die. We couldn't have squeezed one more person in that Madison Square Garden MSG, and they're all on their feet. And these two iconic fucking superstars are staring across at each other, and we're waiting for the fans. And when the fans are ready, now we miss. Now one Superman punch. Brock rolls out, gets to his feet on the floor, and he's smiling. And I said, you know what? You know why those guys are stars? Because they can execute. They were listening to the crowd. They didn't rush nothing. They understand the moment. They understand where they're going. And that's what makes a star. That's what sells a ticket, and that's what gets you to want to come watch more wrestling. So I know it was a elongated answer to your question, but I had a lot to answer on that question. I feel that we're just allowing guys to go out there and we're like, hey, if we can close the show out in this time frame, just go wrestle. No, who do we got to get over tonight? Okay, these guys might need more time in the ring. This guy might need more time on the mic. We got an angle we want to run here. Let's condense this angle to get it quicker so we can get here faster. There is no control of these shows. It's just a fucking free-for-all. The ring's up, go for it. That's why I was very adamant about the camera stuff with everybody. You know what I mean? You gotta have control, man, and you gotta individually tell these guys what you want. My biggest pet peeve, one of my biggest pet peeves, and you know it, is that fucking booking meeting before the show where everybody stands around the ring, and I gotta hear what fucking match 1 has to do with match fucking 4, even though they have nothing to do with each other. Hey, you got a big battle royal, big rumble, something that involves 15, 20, 30 people, then bring them all around the ring and have one conversation. But if I have nothing to do with the rest of the card, do I have to know what the fuck is going on with the rest of the card? No, just I'll walk through the locker room. If you're doing something that's different than just a wrestling match, using a different weapon or something, come say, hey, I'm using a chair tonight. Anybody using the chair? And then we go, oh, I was going to. Oh, okay. Now I have a reason to talk to you, right? Now let's figure this out so we don't fuck each other over.
That's right. I'm going to kick the rope into this guy's nuts. Anyone else doing that?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. So, I think
right?
those are. Yeah, I guess it's just as long as the crowd gets entertained. I guess I've just always had this in my head. Like it needs to be a certain amount of matches, right? Like I think if I'm sitting in the crowd as a fan and there was only a small amount of matches, I would just be like, oh, I don't know if I'm getting my money's worth, or I don't know if I'm getting entertained. But I guess if, like what you said, if If you come out and you do your job, you're listening to the crowd, you go, keep them entertained for the length of your match, however long that is. And obviously, if they're entertained, that match is probably going to go a little bit longer. If they're not as entertained, you're probably going to go home quicker. So I guess that's I don't know, maybe the thought in my head maybe doesn't match what actually is happening out there as far as how many matches you should have, match length, show length, things like that. I guess if you gave a crowd a 90-minute show that was super entertaining, it would be just as good as a mildly entertaining 2-hour show. So yeah, good answer on that one. So what else, man? I know I saw yesterday, man, that Ugly was at his school. He was cleaning her up all by himself, all by his lonesome. And then shortly after, I saw another video talking about someone offered to help. My buddy MPT offered to bring his truck and trailer and give me a hand. And I'm not a guy that normally asks for help and things like that, but that's just it's a reminder to me that this is just a big family, man. And I've talked about this in the past, man. This the wrestling brotherhood, man. It's this big family where you tend to go out of your way to help somebody else, help them succeed. If they need I don't know, like if they need a hand, like I've talked in the past about my wife asking me like, what the hell are you doing? I drove to Elko, Nevada, 4 hours from here to pick up Drake Nelson because his car was broke down. And the story just makes me laugh because he's like, I was going through all my contacts on my phone and, it was 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night. And, I was like, I got to at least say that I tried to call you so I could tell the guy I was with that I, exhausted all my options. And he says like, so I call you and tell you what's going on. And he's like, without hesitation, you go, all right, man, I'll see you in 4 hours. And he's like, what? Seriously? I was like, yeah, let me, whatever I was doing, let me put my kids to bed. Whatever it was, let me go put something away and I'll be on my way. So, and then picking people up from the San Francisco airport, driving from here to San Francisco because somebody's flying into San Francisco and needs a ride and things like that. So I just feel like it's the brotherhood, man. We do what we can to help out. Go ahead, Ben.
Well, that was you yesterday because me and you were talking and I said, man, fuck. I said, fuck, it looks like Ugly needs some help, man. Like it looks like because I was watching the video and I thought I heard him say on the way by that I'm cutting this down to try to fit it in my car. And I was like, well, fuck. And I was talking to you and I'm like, fuck, I think he needs some help. And you were like, well, why don't you go help him? And I was like, well, fuck, yeah, why don't I go help him? I said, if I'm going to watch this and I'm going to see somebody that I like, somebody that I respect and I like in life, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter I like Ugly, man. I enjoy going to his shows. I enjoy talking to him on the phone. I enjoy talking to him, being around him in person. And it's not very often that you can genuinely feel comfortable and like somebody. And I remember telling you, I'm like, fuck, it looks like he's struggling. And you were like, well, why don't you go help him? And I was like, yeah, why the fuck don't I go help him? So I called him and he didn't answer. And then I messaged him and I was like, fuck, I got the truck. I got the trailer. I'm not worried about the gas. Do I want at that point in the day, because I got a meeting to go, do I want to get in a vehicle and drive to Sacramento and look? No, I don't want to do that, but I'm willing to do that, man, because I would want somebody to help me out in a situation like that. And I got a ring, I got a trailer. We could have put the whole fucking ring on it, man. And he's waiting around till Friday, till after the show, which I'm probably going to be at the show because he's coming back and getting in the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, the Big Ugly returns to action this Friday at the Jackrabbit in West Sacramento. They got some good lagers. They got some good sours. They got some good, I had them, some damn good pistachios on the bill. Good, cool little show. A lot of young talent out there. But they're moving everything in the U-Haul with all the guys after that, which I understood. But I thought that he was trying to move all that stuff with his car. And I'm like, no, buddy. I know you ain't gonna call me and ask for help, but I'm gonna let you know I have a truck. I'm gassed up. I got a trailer. Let's break this fucking ring down. Let's get everything you need. I got the whole back of the truck. I got behind the seats. I got this tray. We can put it all on there. We can put 2 rings on there. I got the straps. Let's get your shit to wherever it needs to go, because that's what I would want someone to do that for me, man. And there's a lot of people in the business that say that to my face go, hey man, if you need anything, let me know. And I get why Ugly was like, well, I don't ask a lot of people for help. Well, yeah, first off, you don't ask a lot of people for help, and the same reason I don't, because a lot of motherfuckers ain't gonna help you. It's one of those things where guys come up to me and they go, hey man, if you ever need anything, let me know. I go, yeah, I do need something. Right away, I tell them that. I do need something. I need you to stick around and help me break down this ring. You got $50 I can have for, you know what I mean? Like, so many people tell you that, hey, if you need me, I got you. But they don't mean it. They're just saying it because it sounds like the right thing to say. But I want to let everybody know out there. I mean, if you're within a decent span of me, I'm always over there helping John. I let John use the trailer. I pull things around for John sometimes I'm not even wrestling on John's show. And I'll go grab something and fucking, when I got my 1-year chip, I broke down John's ring and took it there and set it up and left and came and did this and then left early after getting my 1-year sobriety chip. A huge moment for me to go help him break down a ring and put it on the trailer just to drive it back and set it back up in the building at midnight.
Right.
Because that's what we do, right? That's what we do for what we actually call our brothers.
Right. Well, you know what? And I think the biggest thing to remember about that is you're doing that not expecting anything in return, right? You're doing it because it's for the betterment of what we're trying to do. But I think you also know that it's karma, right? It's pay it forward. It's all these different things that you hear, different terminology. It's like, I think about the big picture of pro wrestling in Northern Nevada, and I think about like the people that are willing to ride with you while shit is not going well are going to be the same people that you really, really want to take care of when shit starts going really well, So, I think about the Winnemucca, our trip to Winnemucca, right? And just the ability to go, okay, well, this is going to be a big show. We're able to do a lot more for people as far as rooms and payoffs and feeding them and things like that. So that's where everything comes full circle. I remember the first time we went there, it was not as lucrative, but you had your loyal guys that are like, they want to see you succeed. So, and there is no expectation of what's coming in return. But on my end, I'm thinking about like, when things start going well, these are the guys that you're going to really take care of, because they were there, at the beginning. And I think it really relates to, I think about my wife, right? She was, we were dating before I had the opportunity to go overseas and play professionally, basketball wise. Right. And it's like, not like, I would say obviously it doesn't relate like it does to like NBA guys or anything like that, where it's like, this was your girlfriend before anything happened. And then it's like, you can trust them and things like that. But it's just those things like that where, I supported you when you had nothing. And then, then you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor together, later on in life. So, that's the way that I look at things, man. It's like you don't do things for people going, oh, well, you better get me back or whatever. You just go, hey, you need a favor, I'm here to lend a hand, and I can help you out, and I can do you a favor. And like you said, obviously you would hope that that's reciprocated if you ever needed a favor, that somebody else could kind of do the same, right? So I don't know, man. I think it's full circle, or at least you hope it would be full circle, that things, favors that you do would be something that someone would be willing to do for you as well. And not like that's any type of motivation for you to do it. It's like, oh, well, I'll only do it because I think this guy would do it for me. But a lot of times we just do it because we're good human beings.
That being kind is still, I talk a lot of shit. I say a lot of dick and cum jokes, man. That's just me. But that's just, it makes me laugh, man. I like to have a good time. I like to laugh. Doc one time he put it in the group. He needed someone to help him move out of the house. He was moving into Chico from up on Magic Mountain, Forest Hill, or whatever the fuck ranch, wherever he lived. And I saw it, and I knew he needed help. I didn't want to go. I wanted to stay at home. But I knew nobody had responded to help him. So I knew he was doing it by himself. And I, as a human being, I cannot watch somebody that, if I say you're my brother, if I say you're my friend, I cannot watch what I thought was somebody struggling and be like, oh man, that sucks. He's struggling with no help. No, I'm going to offer help. Because to be honest with you, probably would have turned into a very memorable day. I wish he would have told me, yes, hook up that fucking trailer and get your ass up here. Because then I know we would have talked a lot of shit and had fun and got the ring over there. We would have gone and ate, probably would have set the ring up, and we probably would have had a training session that I've been meaning to get down there to do. It would have been like Apollo Creed and fucking and Rocky Balboa at the end of number 3, ugly and fucking prime time, about to wrestle for the second time, but with no fans to settle the score of NorCal. But no, it would have been, whether I wanted to or I didn't want to. I wanted to because I thought he needed help, and it would have turned into an amazing day. And those are days that you don't get it. It was his day off. I wasn't doing nothing. Man, that would have been one for the record books, man. Just me and the big ugly breaking down the ring, putting it on the trailer, getting everything over to his new building, setting it all up. It honestly probably would have turned into like a 2:00 in the morning thing, where I would have just been like, oh, what about this? And we would have just been fixing his building up. And those are things that I really look forward to in life, man. I look forward to, when you got up from the 11 o'clock at night and you got up in Boomtown and we're leaving. You're like, oh, some of the train's leaving right now. This is my best opportunity to get out of here and get home. I got to get up early. I would love to see Big Paul get hammered drunk, and then I'm responsible as the sober guy to take you home safely to your family and then get you back to your vehicle in the morning so you can go to work and be miserable that next day. I would love those moments, man. I love to just sit around and talk shop and hang out with that's what I loved about Winnemucca. Okay, we're here on Friday. We're here staying. The show's on Saturday. We got another one Sunday. We're here for 3 days. These people around us for 3 days in these motels, all these wrestlers. It is like we are a family for 3 days. I'm gonna wake you up. It's gonna be late nights. We're gonna get the most. Why would I fucking sleep during this time? There's no need to sleep. That was a long weekend. This last weekend, I stayed up late watching a new Netflix series. That's not new, but it's called Startup. And I didn't go to bed till 3. I was like, fuck, go to bed. No, it's too good. Go to bed. I slept 2 hours. 9 o'clock, we're on the road. 7 guys piled into Bad News' new Pathfinder. Okay, we're there. 12 o'clock, 3 hours too early. All right. Shit, we don't get home again in bad weather till 3 o'clock in the morning. I slept 2 hours. I had to be at the building. Fucking, I was at the building from 8:30 to fucking filming shit and doing stuff till like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Then an hour later, I got to be at a belated birthday dinner at a steakhouse. And then I get back from the steakhouse at 7:30 and it's like, fuck, we got to do this podcast and get it to Buck, number 101. And then I fucking finally go to bed and I wake up late. I don't even go to the gym on Monday. I'm like, I'm not even leaving my house on Monday. But you know what? Everything I wanted to get done, I got done. And I slept 4 hours in 3 days. And it's okay. Because that's what we have to do to have a chance to win. You know, me and Ethan, we don't go to the gym at 7 anymore. We left the gym today and it was still dark. And he goes, it's still dark out. And I said, I know. And I said, because that gives us a chance. If we're done with what we need to do for our career and what our goals are before the sun even comes up, said when it gets lighter earlier, we're going to wake up earlier and we're going to get here. We don't ever want to be done with the gym when you can see we don't even want to see the fucking sunrise, you know, and that's the chances we have to take, man. Those, if you want to make it at something, you have to put in everything you got, man. Everything you got. And if somebody else that's putting in everything they got, whether it's you, whether it's ugly, whether it's the guys at SPW, next level, wherever, man. If I'm around and I'm close, and I mean this with all my heart, if you need help, man, just fucking send me a message. If I'm not doing anything, I will. And if I am doing something, I'll figure out when it ends and I'll give you an ETA of when I can make it.
Absolutely, man. You talk about just putting in the work, man. This is an awesome reminder that my daughter, as a sophomore in high school, just made her varsity basketball team, and this team is special. They have an opportunity to realistically win a state title this year. So it has been a goal of hers, you know, to make the varsity team earlier, you know, than a lot of people do. So so she has been able to do that, and I just had to remind her it's because all of the extra work that you're putting in, you know, all of the times that you go to an open gym and there's only 5 or 6 other people there. You know, it's very much the Kobe Bryant, getting an extra training session in every day. And at some point, you've done that for several years, and now nobody can catch you if you stay on that same trajectory, right? Nobody can put as many hours in the gym as you have, because now you've got thousands of hours head start. And you're just going to continue to get better, and they're just going to be chasing from behind. So, you know, that's the constant reminder, man. It's like, if you want to be great, regardless of what it is, man, it's like you have to put in that time. You know, you guys are trying to get to the gym before and leave the gym before the sun comes up. You know, that's a way for you to get all of your shit done before, in theory, before the day starts, right? The sun comes up, that's when your day starts. But now you've already knocked out the gym. You know, not only is that a great thing for energy throughout the day to keep you going, you've already got that pump in and you already got that stuff going. That's just going to get your mental already rolling. So great way to start the day, but it's also just a reminder, like that's the sacrifices that you make when you want to be great. You know, it's like, so now you got the rest of the day to, you know, put in effort on promoting and, you know, thinking about storylines and making your product the absolute best it can be. So, I mean, that's just a reminder for all of these guys, man. You know, get that stuff done. Take it seriously. Get to training. You know, if you've got an opportunity to train 3 times a week, you know, there's no reason that you're not taking advantage of that, right? I've definitely been around those people that are like, you know, I got this job that's not letting me off on Fridays and Saturdays, so I'm going to find another job. You know, it's like, because the priorities are, obviously you want to pay your bills, but you've also got this goal of, I want to be great at pro wrestling. So I just need to find something that's going to be flexible enough where I can get the time that I need to get to training, get to shows, you know, be there early so I can do ring crew. You know, this just goes back to the whole family environment, and that we're all like, you know, this big band of brothers that we're, you know, you need help setting up your ring, so I'm going to get there early and I'm going to help you, you know? So, I don't know that, and that's just, it kind of goes back to the things I've talked about in the past about how fortunate I feel about, you know, you guys are at this building that we can't get into till 3 o'clock, but you're there at noon, waiting for everyone else to get there. And, so you guys can help put the ring together. And, you know, obviously things go together very quickly when you have a dozen people. So, it's fantastic to know that we have that relationship with so many people, that people are willing to help. You know, and obviously the offer to go help Big Ugly when he looks like he's struggling and may need a hand, you know, is fantastic. It's just that just speaks volumes for your character.
Well, he would help me. I know he would help me. And now with the olive branch has been thrown either way, you know, I know even more now that he would help me. I know Doc would help me if he needed to. I know you would help. Doc helps me all the time, but I know, like, if I needed help doing something, he'd be here. I know you'd be here. I know who would be here. And at the end of the day, in this business, we can book as many names as we want from somewhere else. Like, booking a name is cool, but that name isn't to build your company. Like, with that name, it's to use that name to get one of your guys over. Booking other talent from outside places. To be honest with you, man, if somebody is not one of my guys, if they're not consistent, if they're not at my training, if they're not learning what we do and how we do it, if they're not around for that, they couldn't be mad at me if I wasn't interested in using them, because we're going to draw the same numbers, right? Let's just say I promote a show the way I promote a show. And then I go, oh, I'm going to use this guy. This guy's not making the difference. And if my show, it might make the difference on, like, if the match was better, it might make the difference on some stuff people learn in the locker room or some critiquing, but it's not going to make the difference financially. To be honest, if it's somebody that's asking for more money, since there's going to be no up boost in ticket sales, it's actually going to financially take more money away from the company to have this person on there. But realistically, man, and I'm running into it here lately, and my eyes are being really open to a lot of things, is I got to go with my guys. I got to go with my vision, and I got to go with what I'm doing. Because if in 2 years, where this vision has taken me from the pandemic, if I got 20% of the talent I have right now still with me on this fucking journey I'm on, then boy, did I do. So that's a good number, man. I always talk about it. I'm throwing shit at the walls, hoping it sticks. It's coming back and hitting me in the nuts. Well, eventually these ideas I'm throwing against the wall, I start to get smarter and move out of the way so I don't get hit in the nuts and my dick and my balls don't hurt. But if I can get one or two of these ideas to stick on the wall, man, just two really good ideas, whether it's business, marketing, something that's gonna, an idea that's actually gonna work to progress the show and get some ticket sales. And I'm doing some big things, man. I'm doing some big things. And I heard an analogy the other day that I loved. And it said the race analogy, right? It's like, man, here's the race. When you start the race, everyone's there, supportive, right there with you. And then the fucking gun goes off. And whether you're running 25 miles or however long the race goes, it's just you in your own head going after this, motivating yourself, all this discipline. But there's all these competitors around. None of those people supporting you are there with you while you're going through the trenches of this race. But once you come to the end of the race, they got the beer, they got the fucking balloons, they got everything. They're there at the start, and they're there at the end of this race. The middle of this race, you're on your own, pal. Which means get up and go to the gym on your own. It means get to training on your own. Make sure you got a license and a vehicle so you can get to these places on your own. Like, if you are unable to do this for you and on your own, you're never going to really make anything out of yourself. I feel bad for my best friend, Rick, because goddamn it, that guy's done an amazing job with not being able to drive, right? What an ambitious father, what an ambitious professional, what an ambitious everything. He always found a way to get to training, whether it was Revolution, East Bay, always found a way down here, always found a way to all these bookings. But could you imagine if Rick Luxury could drive? There wouldn't be no excuses for the gym. There wouldn't be no excuses for where he went at in his career, because he literally has had to be relying on everybody. And the most important person that he's had to rely on is the breadwinner, the lady, the strongest lady in the world that most wrestlers have in their lives, the person that has held the fucking fort down for him through all these rough times, and that's his fucking wife, man. And you were talking about that earlier. To have that person.
Of course, man, and that's what you need, man. I told you, I don't know if I'd said it on the podcast or I said it to you personally, but my wife truly doesn't have any interest in pro wrestling, except as it relates to me, right? If it's a show that I'm on, a show that I'm promoting, a show that I'm running, she's all about it, right? She wants to help out in whatever it is. She used to be the girl that ran the snack bar when we were having when we ran shows at a place that had a kitchen, and so she was the she would always joke about slanging wieners. I'm out there slanging wieners. So it's just like, yeah, you have that person, man, that and she is very much that for me, right? She's had the same job for 23 years. Very much the foundation and the stability in our family, that we rely on. So, having that person in your life, and obviously you see my kids at every show. They're not there just because they like wrestling. They're there because they want to support me. And as a result, they've got into wrestling and they enjoy watching it, and they enjoy, the stories and, giving feedback and asking questions and things like that. So, just as a result of me being interested in it, and promoting it and running shows and things like that, they have got an interest in it. And, so that's just another support system that, and they're there to do whatever they can do as well, as far as selling t-shirts or whatever it is, anything that helps, it run a little bit more smoothly. If it's taking tickets, if it's taking clothes to the back, if it's whatever, anything that they can do that they'll help. So, having that support system is amazing. And I can't be more thankful than I am about that, man. It's just, it is very exciting. And, I don't know, man, it's just, you just feel blessed when you have that type of, scenario.
Fuck yeah, man. I was married once too. Didn't work, but I will give her credit, man. We just weren't compatible in that sense. And people grow apart, but she was there. She was taking tickets. She was running the snack bar. She was handling the money. I always said, I'm like, man, I could have left her with $1 million and walked away, and I could have trusted her with $1 million. You just couldn't trust them with the old pee-pee, around the mouth and the vagina area, right? But no, that is the best part. Larry dropped down and asked if we could talk sometime during the podcast. So for Larry, yes, we can when I'm done. And for your wife, motherfucker, shit, fuck, poop. I'm gonna throw that one out there right now, just for the editing purposes. And that's the thing. We hear ugly. We hear everybody talk about like NorCal has to come together. Let's have each other's backs. And part of having each other's backs is the supporting each other at the show, showing up to some training, sending students to some other training and stuff like it. I just feel we're in an era where people only do help people to try to benefit themselves if it's beneficial. Oh, I showed up at the show early. Fuck, I didn't mean to get here early and they already seen me. I guess I better ask if they need some help with something. Instead of, hey, you know what bad news does? Bad news, and I stay on top of them too. we make sure we're in that car so we can get to the place to actually do the work, because we want to do the work. We enjoy being there. We know it's going to be a long trip. We're prepared for it. And you have to be prepared for this shit. Ladies and gentlemen, clocking down. We're getting ready for it. Get your dice hands ready. And 5 minutes remain in this podcast. 5 minutes remain. That's the thing I'm most excited about, man. And I'm gonna find out right now if people are even really listening to us or not. So, and this here it comes. It's secret time. So, if you think that this business is about what's happening in that ring, the physical wrestling of this, please continue to go there, because that will continue to make my life so much easier on this journey I'm on to make pro championship wrestling and the Reno Wrestle Factory the top wrestling promotions around. We need to start establishing characters, man. We need to start creating conflicts between these characters, and we need to start building storylines for the audience to follow. And that's what we need to do. And it's not what I'm saying we need to do. It's 100% fucking proof. That's what's going to make money and make everybody it's going to make everybody wealthy, and it's going to draw attendance and interest in what we're doing up. So if you're listening, you just got some gold there. And if you don't think it's gold, well, hey, good luck.
Oh, the respectful middle finger from Mr. Primetime. Always welcome here on the old podcast. Man, so what's going on for the rest of the year, man? Shows, we got I know we've got the Prospect Cup coming up. That's in just under 2 weeks.
It's right? Under 2 weeks?
Maybe it's over 2 weeks. Just over 2 weeks.
Fucking hope it's over 2 weeks.
I have to look at that.
Everything's good for all that, man.
Yeah.
The guy called me literally 10:30 last night and was like, I got the big plaques, the little plaques, the trophy, everything. Just confirmed everything. I put that order in over a month ago, and I'm excited. I'm excited to have this cup. I'm excited to do these things. I'm excited you're going to be there on both nights. I'm pretty sure the bed's not 7 feet long, but it's a California king size. So hopefully Big Paul's going to be hopefully you're going to be having a slumber party at the old Primetime establishments. 2 days of fun. Also, too, where we were doing the rock and wrestling at Hooligans, I'm going to meet with them today, because, man, you should have seen the fish and chips and all that stuff. Like, each fish was like this big on a bed of fries and stuff that Bad News had. Bad News was like, oh my God, look, coach, look at the fish and chips. They're amazing. So I'm going to talk to Paulie today. Me and Michelle Reno are going to get out there, and we're going to talk to him about both nights, keeping his wonderful pub establishment open, so that we can keeping the kitchen open. So after the show, everyone can head over for drinks and have good food and just enjoy the night. They do music into the night too, and it's right here locally. So I'm trying to hopefully make it a big weekend, and we're gonna have all you guys down anyways, like Rick and Bobby and Sparky and hopefully Adam, because I think that Sunday would be a great day to have a huge training session with the students at Primetime University. So I'm just really looking forward to everything coming up. I looked at our schedule for next year, 25 shows. We have 25 shows. I don't think in 2 years have I ever had 25 shows, and we have 25 fucking, and there's more to be added too. So with everything that you got going on, I'm like, dude, this is it. All the chips are in, right? Like, we don't got nothing else over here. We're in. Chips are on the table.
That's it, man. Well, that's what we were hoping for, man. Hoping for a big 2026, and it looks like it's shaping up to be a huge 2026. So, yeah, just Sounds like your dogs are going crazy.
Oh, you can hear them, huh?
Oh, I can hear. Hey, but at least it's only the last 20 seconds, right?
Little
You don't have
fuckers.
to.
Well, they're not little. They keep digging under the shed, man. I thought they died because the rain and the water filled up. I had to dig them out. Then they're covered in mud. But hey, you know what? That's part of life. Big 2026, 2027, we're going to be rolling the Maseratis and the limos around because that's just what we do. For Zach Primetime Reeb and the Wrecking Ball Paul Isadora, hit that fucking subscribe button.